Welcome back to episode. It ain't even an episode, it's just a special edition of the Sharpshooters Sports Talk, everybody. I am your humble and gracious host, Mr. Brinsky Sharp, on the ones, twos, threes, fours, and the fives and six. Just a little early special. Since I haven't did a podcast. I did a show all week, but I had to have my guys in here. Of course, we got Mr. Superstar, Mr. Forget Everybody, because he got a gold mic. My main man, Ted.
What's happening, fellas?
We got our boy Jay Walk coming back from hunting with his hunting hat on.
Right on, brother.
Coach Sean, fresh out of church.
Yes, sir. Get my worship, no R, worship on.
And my main man, I think he here now. I think he here in Alabama. My main man, John.
3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
Take that back. He'll be here in 3 days.
I had to delay it 3 days. So, yeah.
3 days. He's leaving Texas for Alabama. What a bad choice for him.
I'm tired of this 100-degree heat, bro.
Hey, man, it don't get no better. It don't get no better.
He leaving 100-degree heat to come back to 96-degree heat.
Right. You're right. I missed the rain, man. I missed the rain.
At least you don't have no state taxes down there, man.
You're right.
Man.
They take away state taxes, then we can talk, man. But it's crazy. Of course, everybody, man, just got to shout out to everybody. Nick came in here early, showing love. Hopefully, everybody else jump on in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Come on over here. Chop it up with us for a while. Trappanell, what's going on with you, bro?
Trappanell.
ESG, what's going on, man? What's going on? Ron, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Roll Tide. I see you got that new profile picture with the drink in your hand. Oh, is that? Look at this. Look at this cat right here.
Not that guy.
Oh man, Raphael O'Keefe.
Wow,
man. Get off Twitter, man. Come over to YouTube. Talk that mess. But
we gotta get Raph up here one time, man.
Man,
we do.
He's scared. Talk about. Never mind. I ain't gonna even go there with him today. I was gonna mess with him, but I ain't gonna even do it today. Of course, everybody, man, we talking about little college football. We ain't been on here in a week. And of course, here he goes already with his Buckeyes. We don't care. Y'all ain't winning one this year. I call that early. You ain't winning nothing. My main man, K Swing, what's going on, brother?
John.
Man, what's going on, man? We definitely gonna be watching you this year, bro. Can't wait to see you all ball out. I told him, man, I need at least 7 touchdowns, at least.
Facts.
But we got overrated and underrated teams in college football. I feel like, John, you need to start this one off, man. Who you think is overrated teams and your underrated team coming in the 2026 season, or the 2025-2026 season?
Well, just because of who it is, I'm going to start off with an overrated. And it's going to be, and you're not going to like this one, Coach Sean. It's going to be LSU. I know everybody keeps saying sleeping on LSU because of Garrett Nussmeier. But you need more than a QB to win those games. You know what I mean? You can have all the experience. You can have 4,000 yards every game. If your defense ain't stopping nothing, if you lost your offensive line, look, we know they reload at wide receiver. They've had a pedestrian run game for the past, 5 years. Nothing impressive to me about that. I'm going to have to – and look, I know it's a bold statement because me personally, I feel like it's only a matter of time when you're consistent enough that you break through, kind of like Ryan Day did with Ohio State. I feel like Brian Kelly eventually should have to break through. He's been doing this since Notre Dame, right? But he continues to not do this. And I think it has more to do with the lack of faith in Brian Kelly than anything, to be completely honest with you, by saying overrated. And by overrated, I mean not winning the national championship or going to the playoffs, right? My expectations for them are 9-3 at most. They'll miss the playoffs. Whether you consider that overrated or underrated, I'm not sure. But do you want me to do an underrated?
Yeah, you can go ahead if you want to.
My underrated. I'm not just saying that.
Unless you want everybody to go around and do overrated, then go. But
You let me know. So okay, well I'll do an underrated. I'm not saying this just because Tez is on here, but I'm going to have to say Auburn. And the reason why is because it's Hugh Freeze, and Hugh Freeze always pulls this damn rabbit out of his hat, man. And when you look at Jackson Arnold, if you can get his head on straight, I don't know how plausible this is, then you'll have something there with Cam Coleman, Singleton, right? So he'll have pieces around him to make this thing work. And the reason why I say underrated, no, I don't think they're going to win the national championship, but I'm talking about the expectations placed on this Auburn team, and because everybody's looking down on them right now. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, that's kind of the feeling around the people I've been around. But yeah, that's my underrated and overrated just off the top. And of course, I'll sprinkle in more as we're talking here, I guess.
Anybody want to jump in on that fire? Or anybody have a rebuttal for his overrated and underrated?
Well, I don't have a rebuttal, but I would say that my overrated team is Boise State. I don't know how they're still in the top 10 preseason rankings, losing, probably one of the best players in that program's history. I think he single-handedly has kind of made people oversell where they are as a program. They're not going to do the same things that they did last year. And I mean, another overrated team I think is Tennessee. I mean, as much as I don't think that the quarterback that left was like a generational talent, I think that they are taking an even further step back by not having him there and by having to kind of thrust somebody else to that front, that, QB1 spot. So I mean, all the preseason rankings still have them at like 7. I just don't see it. I think they're going to have a tough season, lose maybe 4 or 5 games, man. I don't see how they're going to fix it that fast.
Let's see, you already saw Penn State as underrated.
No, Kenneth has it right.
You got Penn State as underrated?
That was, well, I guess I'd go then, since he said that.
Yeah,
he said that.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna hold off.
So he's got Penn State as underrated. I got Penn State as my overrated team. That's who I was gonna pick as overrated. Simply because, man, you lose on defense, you lose who I think was the best defender in the country. That production is going to be hard to replace. And I'm not really sold on Drew Aller as a quarterback, for real. And I think a lot of teams in the Big Ten got better. So, and on top of that, James Franklin has been wildly inconsistent. They did well last year, so it's on pace for them to be not so good this year, according to James Franklin logic. So yeah, I got Penn State as actually my overrated team. And I'm gonna stay with what John said because I can't think of another one right now. But if I think of another one, I'll say it. But I'm gonna go with Auburn Tigers. I think that's, as far as underrated, as far as the expectations. This is a team that I feel honestly could compete for an SEC championship if everything goes well, and just the talent that they added offensively, defensively, where they're sitting. I think a lot of teams, we're listed as a middle of the road SEC team in most rankings, but I could see us getting to 9-3, which is what I have us going to. 9-3 Auburn team would overperform based on most of what I've seen us to finish.
So I got a question for you then. So what would you consider a successful Auburn season where you can stomach it? You're like, okay, that's making progress. The bottom of that, what would the floor be?
Probably 8 games. Probably 8 games right now. Just, I mean, it's not so much about the season. It's just how does it look? It can't look like it looked last year. If it looks, if it looks like it looks last year, then I'll be vastly disappointed. But if it looks, it'd be out of there. But if it looks like competent and we're just getting beat by better teams, then that's a different story. But like if we lose games, we find ways to lose games like we did last year, then I'd be disappointed. Even if we win, even if we win 8, 9 games, and the rest of them, the ones that we lost, were just games that where we just. I mean, I don't want to say this because y'all on here, but like, kind of like y'all season went. Y'all are the example that I'm trying to come up with. Whereas you had a 9-win season, but a lot of those games you weren't really satisfied with how it played out, the play calling, even the ones you won, just kind of like were some of those games you look at and like, man, we didn't really play well. Like if we have a season like that, then I think Hugh Freeze is out of here, even with winning 9, if he wins 9 games.
Ooh.
Interesting. Oh, sure.
For me, man, I picked multiple teams for each one just in case somebody stole my thunder.
I should have did that.
Smart man.
I agree with Ted. Penn State is hella overrated, man, as always. But the ones I picked, I'm gonna go with Texas, man, as far as overrated. You know what I mean? I don't think Texas. Listen, man, I do believe Texas is gonna hit. You know, they're gonna find the second year a little more difficult than the first. Everybody talking about Arch Manning. I ain't seen Arch Manning do a damn thing, me personally. You know, like what the hell are y'all rating him off of? His last name? I want to see this dude be a starter. I want to see him go against defenses when they get film on him. I watched him during the season. I watched him struggle, you know what I mean, several times. I watched him play well. So I ain't seen Arch Manning do nothing. So I you know, everybody got these crazy expectations. I personally think it's a reason why Quinn Ewers started those last few games and not him. I think Quinn, you know, understood the offense better. Everybody putting lofty expectations on this dude because his last name, man, and we'll see. We'll see. It's some great defensive coordinators he's gonna go against in this league. We'll see, right? My underrated team is just the opposite of John. I think LSU is underrated. I think John said they lost a lot of people, but let me tell you this: the starters that started the last 4 games of the season, they got 20 of 22 of them back. Not the opening game. The last 4 games of the season, they got 20 of 22 starters back. Look it up. These guys have got what I personally think, and they put dude back on the outside. I think Perkins is one of the best outside linebackers I've seen when healthy. Greg Penn, he's back. They got Savion Jones, the Guillory dude, Jacobian Guillory, Gio Perez. They got all them dudes back, man. And 2 of the 4 offensive linemen is back, right? But the center and the left tackle both started the last 2 games of the season. So these are not just red shirt soaking wet freshmen. They got 20 of 22 people who started the last 3 games of the season back. Anytime this league is proven, anytime that you have a quarterback back, look at us last year, no matter how he play, you're gonna have opportunity to win 9 or 10 games, right? They receivers, some of their second string receivers was better than the starters, if you ask me.
I agree.
Josh Williams will be back. Their tight end Mason Taylor's back. Their place kicker, who was one of the best in the SEC, is back. Their cornerback Sage Ryan, who had his struggles, right? I think they played him out of position. I think he should have played safety, but hey, Ashton Stamps is back. Listen, man, and really nobody's talking about LSU. So LSU, I mean, I hadn't heard nobody pick LSU to win anything. I hadn't. All I hear about is Texas.
Preseason. They're like 6th. If you're saying they're underrated, then they're going to win the national championship.
I mean, I'm saying as far as winning the SEC, I've heard nobody pick LSU. I've heard Georgia, Texas. All I hear. I ain't heard nobody say LSU gonna win it.
I've heard people say Nussmeier being the top quarterback in the SEC,
yes,
but
I've heard nobody pick LSU.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've heard Georgia, Texas, and possibly Bama. I ain't heard nobody say LSU's gonna win it. Now, Brian Kelly, I just think they're underrated. If Brian Kelly can fumble through a season and win 8, 9, 10 games, you know, I think this is probably the best team he's had in his tenure at LSU. You know what I mean? It's a complete team, right? So underrated. I go LSU. Overrated, I go Texas.
I guess I just look at the position of the rankings different. I guess, like, right. So if you're positioned at 6 and you're underrated, yes, they are behind Georgia, which I do agree they shouldn't be behind. Same thing behind Texas. But if you're positioning them as underrated at 6, I'm looking at, okay, so you must think they're going to win the national championship, because to be underrated at 6 means their position should be 2, right? 1 around that, or no? Is not the way you're thinking?
All I know is I ain't heard no prognosticator pick them to win anything, not conference, not anything. I heard Georgia, I had Texas, I had Bama. I don't really look at the overall ranking. I hadn't heard anybody pick LSU to win anything.
I got you. So I'm going based off positioning. That's why we're differing on it. That's why.
Yeah.
I think the only thing what I was just about to say, just that quick.
Sorry, Brensky, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, man. You just gave I don't think I heard anybody say Alabama's going to win anything outside of Alabama fans, to be honest. Be honest. So it's really just been Texas and Georgia, to be honest.
Yeah.
So if you just saying
just got ranked as the number 2 team in the country by Pro Football Focus.
Who's that?
Number 2.
Alabama. Yeah, they were positioned.
Y'all just number 2.
Yeah, but they
in the country.
I can say a lot of stuff about Pro Football Focus, but
rabbit hole.
Like I'm just talking about like from Josh Pate to Brad McElroy to those guys that normally watches and that we hear talk college football every day, all day. I haven't heard none of them, Joel Klatt, like none of them picked Alabama to do anything. But they said we should be better this year. That's the only thing. But yeah, I think Mason Taylor is in the NFL right now.
I get him 86 and 80. I think it was 86 and 89 mixed up. Kid. One of them's 86. I forgot the kid name.
But they still return some guys.
What was his name, man?
Aaron Anderson coming back. That's going
to receiver. I 100% agree with Coach on that. I believe their backups, honestly, their second string was just as good, if not better, on that. Now, I got a question to the whole panel real quick. If you don't mind, Brent.
Do whatever.
If Marcel Reed does not live up to what people are putting on him, do you think A&M would be considered overrated? Because Marcel Reed has a lot of, in my opinion, put on his back. There's a lot of expectation of him because, in my opinion, around Marcel Reed, is there much there to help him? I mean, they lost Noah Thomas.
Very good question. I don't think that A&M is considered, well, they've been overrated for a lot of time, but that's when they had the players there. I don't think they had the players there on the offensive end that I can really think of. I know they got the cat out of NC State. I forgot his name. Receiver.
Concepcion.
But I think they did. I got to look back on Texas A&M, so that's a real good question on that. So let me look up to that.
Now, I believe the preseason rankings have been around 20, 23, so I won't say overrated, but it's just an interesting point of like, without Marcel Reed there, they would not even be looked at near the top 25 if you remove him.
Yeah. Their SP ranking, which is the same one that had Alabama at number 2, Texas A&M came in 15 on the list.
Ooh, bro, that's high, in my opinion.
And that tight end was Trey Dez Green, I think it was. Look it up. I know he had 4 touchdowns last year. He's like 6'7". His name, I think it was Trey Dez Green or Trey Dez White or Trey Dez somebody. But he had like 4 touchdowns. Look it up if you get a chance.
Oh, okay.
Texas A&M also has the 10th ranked strength of schedule in the country.
Trey Dez Green, yeah.
Yeah, Green.
They have the 10th ranked, did you say, schedule? 10th. Gotcha. Coach Carl.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just seen that man just walked in the building. Coach Carl, what's going on, man?
What up, Coach?
I mean, to be fair, Alabama has the 11th.
Well, we already knew I was. There wasn't no question about it.
11. Texas is 12. Georgia's 13.
If you're in the SEC, you got a pretty hard schedule.
Yeah, all these are SEC teams.
Except Texas.
Texas is the one that kind of.
Texas.
Anybody would ask for Texas schedule right now. I can promise you that.
100%.
You get to play. Go ahead.
I think they're gonna have trouble navigating that schedule. Like it looks easy, but like
it's the home and away games.
They're gonna have some trouble with that.
Yeah, this time they got to go to. I think they're gonna hit at least 1 or 2 real struggles.
I think Ohio State come to them.
Yeah, no, they go.
No, it's a neutral. Maybe
neutral site.
No. Wait, I thought it was
or is it at Ohio State?
No. This one, no. Okay.
If it's at Ohio State, then that's
no. Because they played Ohio State last year, so no, they playing at Texas this year.
Who plays at Ohio State?
They play Michigan.
No, it says at Ohio State on the schedule.
They played
Yeah, they got
Michigan and Ohio State.
No, they didn't play
No,
Ohio
they don't
State
play
last
Michigan.
year. It's just into
Oh,
playoffs.
that's who Texas played last year.
Yeah.
So Texas has got to go at Ohio State, at Florida, at Kentucky, at Mississippi State, at Georgia.
That's gonna be tough for them this year,
Ain't no
man. I
cakewalk.
promise you.
No.
I promise you. That's gonna be that's
There's Lagways playing this year, hopefully. Well, you know, I won't get into that.
I think no, did he play last year? No, because they played somebody
No,
else.
he didn't play that game.
Yeah, because he was hurt that game. It really depends on how that shoulder is, but I don't think they have more experience. I know they lost Jade Barron, a lot of those guys, Colin Simmons, Ringo, all those guys have another year under their belt. CJ Bastard gonna be back, so still keep on. I think the only person you really lost on the line was Banks.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be there, but they're gonna definitely have a tough time. So you just said Michigan come to them, right, Tez?
Michigan, they don't play Michigan.
They played Michigan last year.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they play Ohio State.
They go
play
to
Ohio
the
State. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they going there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
First
tough,
game.
man. That's tough.
And yeah, but they tried to make it a night game. That's what they was talking about. But
Why did Ohio State make that an 11 o'clock game? Bro?
That
is weird.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You really hurting yourself with that, I believe.
No, so that Texas Ohio State game is at 11.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's an
early
11 o'clock
game.
game. It's an early game. Yeah.
Wow.
Because when I thought they were talking, when they were talking about it, I thought because I remember they said they didn't want it to be a night game, and Texas was pissed off about it. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, let's make it a night game.
Move it.
Yeah, they got at Ohio State, and then they got pretty much 3 cupcakes at home: San Jose State, UTEP, and then Sam Houston. Then they go at Florida. Then they go to the Swamp. So
that Swamp, that's not going to be a cakewalk, man.
It's not going to be a cakewalk.
And that one going to be a night game or a 2:30 game.
Oh, Florida going to have that joker that night. I bet you they have it at night.
Yeah.
And then they come right after that. Right after they go right after they go at Florida, they play who I think is probably the most improved team, had the best offseason I know in the SEC. They got to play Oklahoma right after that.
Oh, yeah, it's here.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
Hey, Mimi, what's going on?
Me.
I feel like Bama is being underrated by most media. I'm excited to see how they play. I think they're being treated the way they need to be treated right now because of the quarterback situation, how with the new coaching staff. It's a lot of things that factor in with us. Can these guys live up to the Bama standard? Shout out to the Bama standard, by the way. But can they live up to those expectations and all that? So we're going to really have to see. I think they are talking about us in the right way right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
We got a lot to live up to be honest. But like I said, any of y'all on Twitter or whatnot, retweet the show with the YouTube link and just hop on over here to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 900 subscribers. Appreciate everybody for getting us over the 800 mark. And keep putting your questions and stuff in the chat. Of course, I have topics or whatnot, but I love to go off the rails for real and actually talk about different stuff because you guys in the chat actually be having good stuff to talk about. But Coach Carl, since we ain't asked you yet, and I haven't even given mine yet, your most overrated and most underrated team coming into the 2025 season, 26 season.
I think.
Me personally, man.
Okay.
I can barely hear you.
I think it's low. Might have to turn it up.
Can you hear me now?
Go a little louder if you can.
A little loud.
What about now?
Much better.
Screaming in the mic.
Yeah.
No, I'm not screaming yet. But no, man, my thing would be like, I hate to be the one to say it, but the most overrated team in the nation to me is Texas. But Texas lost so much, being that, you know, if you lose quarterback, defense, offense, special teams, like they lost so much, and it's gonna be hard to bounce back for them. So have them rating so high as they are right now, I just don't see it. I think that the schedule is manageable outside of Ohio State. Over Ohio State, probably gonna have a really, really good team this year still with Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs still there. So they still have good quarterbacks on their roster, but they paid a lot of money for them youngsters last year. So I'm thinking that Ohio State probably gonna have a really, really good season, continue in the Big 12 because they're the head of the Big 12. So that's gonna be the toughest test for Texas right now, and not to mention playing against DJ Lagway, like I said, in Florida. The most underrated team, man, I hate to say this, number 2, Auburn. Auburn has so much return this year with new quarterback wise, all that skill they have, the defense they had last year. I just don't think Auburn should be ranked 20, 25. I think they should have been ranked a little bit higher. So you put more expectations on them, then they'll crumble. When you put them down at the bottom with no expectations, then they probably gonna surprise you. So I'd rather have high expectations so they can fall flat on their face than have no expectations so they can rise to the top. So I'm thinking that Auburn gonna surprise a lot of people, man. Unfortunately, they will with that bullshit that they have over there. Auburn with the raggedy trees, all that voodoo they have inside that stadium. So I'm thinking that Auburn gonna be our sleeper, and Texas gonna be our bus.
Damn, man. You just went there, didn't you?
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. But for mine, man, hold on. Dwight in the building. What's going on? Dwight, man.
Dwight.
Said he didn't get the notification. Man, you need to probably check your settings, man. If anybody, check your settings on YouTube. Make sure you're getting a notification. And make sure you are definitely subscribed to everybody's channel on here. On the Block with Coach Carl. Just my humble opinion with Coach Sean. We don't know when SC season is coming out with Tez. It's just like Grand Theft Auto 6. They just keep pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. So but still go over there and subscribe to his channel. Content will be dropping soon. And a matter of fact, I'm gonna put him on the spot right now. Is the video gonna drop tomorrow or today or whenever?
The highlight video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it tomorrow.
You hear? Now it's on the record. Everybody heard it. Now everybody heard it, and I put the pressure on him. So he may finally have something on there. So definitely subscribe over there. Definitely check out the Bama Standard over there with John and us on Fridays, and Jason Walker over there with his shoes, and waiting for him to drop some more so I can get them. Thank you, sir, for your service.
You're quite welcome, sir.
But my most overrated team, I would say though, I can't say right now. I won't even say they talking about Ohio State that much. For real. But I would say Florida, man. I think it's just a hype because I haven't seen Billy Napier done anything since his duration at Florida. And I know DJ Lagway had a good freshman year towards the end, but now his expectations up there now. They're not expected to lose because I think most of us expected, I expected Billy Napier to lose his job, especially how brutal that schedule was. But he won some of those big games that saved his job, even winning the bowl game. And then is DJ Lagway's shoulder gonna hold up the way they just keep talking about? I just keep hearing more and more about that shoulder every time. Like, like we saying that game in the swamp gonna be hard, which it is just because it's just the swamp. But is Lagway gonna play in that game? Is he gonna hold up? Are the weapons gonna step up? Is anybody gonna improve? So we're gonna see how that's gonna be. But and I seen From put it up here and that was my underrated team is the Oregon Ducks. Because I just love everything that they did recruiting wise. I think Dante Moore is one of the most, when he came out, he was one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. So coming out of Michigan, then when he left UCLA, he went to Oregon. I thought he had a chance to start before Dylan Gabriel, but I should have known better than that. But he had a year to sit down, get better on his skills. So we're gonna see how he can step up to the plate. He's gonna have Evan Stewart. He's gonna have DeCorin Moore out there. So I definitely can't wait to see how he does with that. You got Naeem Alford out there, Trey McNutt. Some big time freshmen are going out there to Oregon. So just see if they can keep up that momentum, picking up a few guys and the transfer portals. So we're gonna definitely see. And just one more overrated school, just because I can't stand Penn State. They are just overrated every year. And
did you say Oregon was underrated or overrated?
Under.
Underrated. Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested in how they going to be. Now, when they go to, I think they go to Ohio State this year.
Yep.
So when they go to Ohio State, we're gonna see
Oregon?
are they ready for that big time? Yeah, Oregon.
They don't play Ohio State.
They don't.
Really don't.
Yeah, they have I'm looking at their schedule and then like they should walk through this schedule.
Yeah.
What is their hardest game?
Do you honestly
Probably
think
at Penn State?
At Penn State. Wow. Yeah. So based on everything that I'm hearing right now, so they should probably go undefeated in their conference.
Yeah, man. I don't know. You take a look at their schedule. I
They
would
travel-
love as an Auburn fan to have this.
Oregon travel to Happy Valley? That's the question.
Yeah. It's at Penn. That's their toughest game at Penn State, which is a long trip.
Then they may not win though.
Yeah.
And that's still one loss. And you can still get into the college football playoffs just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with that schedule, so do you really think they underrated?
No, I'm not basing anything off schedule. I'm basing it off the team.
Yeah.
You can have a hard schedule and still be an overrated team.
Yeah, that team they has is stacked though. I mean, like
they ain't really lose much, to be honest. They lost Dylan Gabriel, of course. They lost
you taking
Ted Johnson.
You replace Dylan Gabriel with Dante Moore. If Dante Moore is the kid that we saw coming out of high school, that's a hell of an upgrade.
He's been amazing. Yeah. For sure.
So that's the only thing. If he plays like how he was supposed to play coming out of high school, then Oregon's gonna have they're gonna make a lot of noise, especially just hearing how the schedule gonna be. They're not playing Ohio State. They're just going. Their hardest game is just going to Penn State, and that can possibly be their only loss outside of the Big Ten championship game. And even so, if they play in the Big Ten championship game, you let's just say they lose, you 10-2. That still get you in the college football playoffs, depending on how good if they're going off strength of schedule. But I believe you can still get in the college football playoff just off that alone.
That'll probably be a wide too.
I don't see them losing in the Big Ten championship game. Because
so you don't.
If he played anything like he played his freshman year in UCLA, he still lights out better than Dylan Gabriel.
That's tough.
How did they get around playing?
That's tough. Now I can't agree with that. Dylan Gabriel had some good years. You talking about? He even had a good year at Oregon last year.
Everybody had years at Oregon now.
I feel the same way, Coach Carl. Everybody have a good year.
Come on, man. You had Bo Nix come out of Auburn that couldn't complete a pass 3 yards down the field. Went to Auburn and come a damn top 10. Went to Oregon, come a top 10 quarterback. Come on, bro. Let's think about it.
But it's done to a different head coach. Now, if you would have said this Chip Kelly guys, then I can understand that based on his quarterback history, I would be like, okay. But Dan Lannon been getting some guys, so we can see how that gonna go.
Yeah. To his credit, bro, he been building it like an SEC team.
Yeah.
In the trenches. So like they are stacked.
And they won the Big Ten their first season in it. Their very first season.
Now I said you can just see that team just getting better and better each year. And if you keep just plucking like big time guys out the South to come up there, like I believe Naeem Alford was a great pickup by him. Because I think Tez thought he was going to be an Auburn Tiger. Didn't you think he was going to be one?
I thought we had a chance at him.
Yeah. but he chose Nike over getting his patio fixed.
Well, when I saw the little presentation, I was like, this takes weeks to do to put together. He's not picking Auburn after they went and put this presentation together.
Yeah,
it was obvious.
He chose Nike over Yellowwood.
Yeah, he did.
And Yellowwood got a lot of money. Nike money get different.
Yeah, but like I was in Birmingham, my granddad's house, and I was like, man, the whole family said, no, he ain't going to Auburn. No, he ain't going to Auburn. He'd never be a Tuscaloosa, but that whole family is Auburn and Birmingham. So I never did see him going to Oregon. But he shocked me. He shocked my granddad when he said he was going to Oregon. So
I thought we had a chance, man. Did you see the commitment? Yeah, when I watched the commitment, they put this big presentation up on the wall, and then he came back out with the Auburn hat and threw it down and picked up the Oregon hat. And I was like, bro, nobody believed you was going to Auburn after watching this big presentation that they put together. Like,
I gotta watch
it. The media team spent a lot of money on this.
Yeah.
I gotta watch.
Nobody believed it.
Well, I got a question for everybody on here. You know, Dan Lanning's having the success at Oregon he's having first year in the Big Ten. You know, what's you guys' thoughts on Lincoln Riley's expectation, considering his contract and everything that's put on him? Because it seems like nobody's expecting anything out of USC as far as contending in the Big Ten this year.
This may be Lincoln's last year in USC. I think that if he don't win at least 9 games, they may give him the scissors, man. They may cut him for real.
110 million.
I think that.
Yeah, we thought it was last year. As bad as we was talking about that last year, Coach. Yeah. Every Monday we was talking like, it just looked worse and worse. But what's saving him right now is these recruiting classes. If he can keep this recruiting class intact right now, I believe he's going to be back another year, especially if you add the on-field success, because it's like really no excuse for you not to have the on-field success this year. But only time will tell.
So what's the game total you said? You said 9 games? If you don't win 9 games?
I feel like if he win 8 games, the rumbling going to get louder. I think he got at least win 9 games there.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. And this recruiting class, by the way, Brinsky, it's not holding up very well. I don't know if you've heard the news coming out, but it's not looking good.
And they always start off like this, hot, getting everybody.
They did that last year.
Yeah.
Like Xavier Griffin, which a lot of people, I still don't believe it, that they have him coming to Alabama, but I still think it's a lot of recruitment left on that. But who else but they still have some guys.
I'm looking at 3 losses. At Notre Dame, that's an L. At Oregon is an L. And then they got Michigan come.
Yeah.
Then they got Michigan right there. They probably don't win that game. Man, it's gonna be tough.
I love their defensive coordinator, but outside of that,
and the Big Ten is like not even like I'm looking at these teams. They not even stop comparing the Big Ten to the SEC, please. But yeah, I mean, the schedule is kind of a cakewalk, but they got some games on here that at Purdue they may lose.
No, Purdue won't have that right now, man. Stop calling my I'll put my all on spot like that. My people is not that good right now.
He said stop.
But
what about Illinois? They gonna be pretty good this year?
Probably decent, but not good.
I was gonna get a lot of people back too, man.
You have with the Big Ten, man, the sleeper teams, like Indiana was a sleeper team last year. So you had to worry about the Northwesterns and type like that. Michigan State might surprise people this year. Like the people that we count out that we don't give no cares about, those are the ones that sneak in there and do something in the Big Ten because the competition is not that straight. You know what I mean? Like, so like when you get the Big 10, the Big 12, the competition is not that good at the bottom. So the bottom feeders are always fighting against each other, and somebody gonna step out and shock the world, like Indiana did this year. And it may be Northwestern. That'd be the team to watch. Northwestern and Michigan State. I mean,
does Indiana play any ranked teams outside of Ohio State? They may win 2 games again just because they don't.
I don't think they're gonna be as good as they was last year. But once you pull that one up, we can talk about the college football.
They play Oregon.
They
got
play
to go
Oregon?
at Oregon, at Iowa, back-to-back games.
Iowa.
Iowa's always
at Maryland. And they go at Penn State too. They got at Maryland, at Penn State. So
that's at least that's
back-to-back games too.
About three good hard games for them for once.
That's Indiana,
actually
right?
a tough. It's actually a tough stretch.
Yeah, they'll lose all them games.
You got at Iowa, at Oregon, then you got Michigan State at home, UCLA at home, then you got at Maryland, at Penn State. That's not a cakewalk.
They're gonna kill UCLA because they suck. They're gonna beat Maryland because Maryland sucks even worse, and they're gonna lose they'll lose their away games.
So they'll lose to Penn State, Iowa, and Oregon.
Iowa sucks. They might mess around and beat them at Iowa. Their offense is one of the worst in the country.
Yeah, but then defense, so Iowa live on defense. They live on that mild defense winning championship. You got offense scores points. So can't win 0-0.
Winning games 5-3.
I'm a
They both had the same record. They both went 6-3 in the Big Ten last year. Iowa and Illinois.
I'm gonna show this. This the college football play format. The college football executives are expected to adapt. Well, they have adapted to a straight seeding model for this up and coming year. So this is what the seeding would have looked like last year if they would have just done this in the first place. Like Oregon would have had a way better
seeding,
than just playing either Tennessee or Ohio State. And I believe this would have been a lot better. And this could have changed a lot. I don't believe of course, I believe Tennessee would have beat SMU. Ohio State would have drugged Arizona State. That Notre Dame and Clemson game would have been very, very interesting. And whoever played Clemson, that would have been interesting. Indiana and Boise, I believe Boise would have won. And then Oregon would have beat them. I don't know who would have won out of that Penn State game. I believe Georgia would have won. And I believe Ohio State would have beat Texas. Now we have a Ohio State and Texas game. That would have been the most interesting game on there because I believe they match up very well, especially defensive wise with Georgia. But will they keep up with them offensively? I don't know. But what you guys think about they're finally going to a straight seeding? So if you are the number one seed in the college football ranking, that's where you're gonna be at in the playoffs. Do y'all agree or don't agree?
I agree, man, because last year Oregon, their reward was like the worst. Like they got screwed the worst to me. They Oregon had one of the top overall seeds and have to play the toughest deadgum team your first game. That was like they didn't reward you at all. Like they rewarded Penn State. You know what I mean? They gave Penn State the weakest draw there. Why? You know what I mean? So yeah, it was kind of sucky last, and the numbers wasn't great. When you go back and look at the eyeballs that was watching those games, it wasn't great, man.
Horrible.
Yeah, man, because especially when they ran them out the building.
I mean, I honestly, I don't understand why we didn't have the straight seeding in the first place. It's like
either.
It's like they just skipped a step. Like I don't understand that. Like, how do we go all the way from
I think they
4 teams to? I think they're trying to protect conference games, conference championships. They're trying to
to protect the Big Ten. They're trying to justify all them Big Ten teams they put in last year because most of the committee was all Big Ten, was mostly Big Ten people.
Yeah,
that's facts.
So you think about it, like in the straight seed, there's really no incentive to win your conference other than you get an automatic bid. But like if you number 2 in your conference, if you play in the Big Ten or SEC, you're gonna get a playoff spot. If you number 3 team, you probably gonna get a playoff spot in either of those conferences. Like I think they just try to protect the integrity of that game because now the SEC championship, what are you playing for? You know, if I'm a team in the SEC championship, I'm not finna break the bank to try to win that game if I get a seed and if I'm still gonna get it my chance in the playoffs. So like, I agree with it, but I just don't understand why they did it the other way in the first place.
They had to fully agree. It had to be a unanimous vote, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Like, so they probably everybody wanted to do it, but one vote stopped it. Somebody was like, "No, I don't want to do it that way." But this year, they unanimously just said, "No, we're gonna do it this way."
So are the first round still getting the home games though?
Yeah, it's the same way. Just whatever seed you are right then and there, that's where you're gonna be at, and it's gonna go on so far and so forth. So it's gonna be interesting.
I don't like that first round. Everybody at the home game type.
Me neither.
With the home game, yeah.
We doing playoff style, man. We do everything like we do a bowl game. Stick it in somebody's bowl and then let them go out in the bowl and get that little bowl money. Let the fans get a chance to travel. This and that, have a neutral site game, because home games in the first round, they really not fair. Man, it's really just not fair. But being that it's the playoff situation, no, I don't think that's fair.
But it's only one round.
Yeah.
You talking about for the first? You just literally just talking about for the first round. Well, we said they still going to try to make the other bowl games important. We just can't just, because then it'll be different week. You in the Pop Talk Bowl, then you move on to the Rose Bowl, then you move on to the Sugar Bowl, and if you keep moving on, you're in the national championship. So you gotta at least have some type of incentive. Like if you win, you get to have an extra home game.
But then think about this: if you one of the top 4 teams and you get the bye week, I would rather have a home game. If I'm Penn State, I would rather have people to come in Happy Valley so we can white it out and we can make that money and we can get that TV time. Don't put me at a neutral site. I'm one of the top 4 teams in the country. I deserve a bye and a home game. If you're giving out home games,
if you're giving out home,
it's not fair to me.
No, that's what I believe. But we just can't just
they keep them in the park. They keep the Park Talk Bowl going, and then everybody just playing on neutral sites, man. It's better with neutral sites than at home game. You see that in the NFL. Home games get home cooking, man. So put it in
all of them won.
Put it in neutral site, man. Put it in neutral site. All of them.
Well, but I don't know where will you put them though. That's the question.
It don't matter. Park Talk Bowl.
Take away some of those bowls.
But you want them bowl games to still be important. That's why I say just can't.
It's a playoff game, so it'll be important.
Didn't most of the teams that had a bye loss? Didn't
all of them?
Yeah.
All of the teams that not had a bye, but all the teams that had to go on the road to somebody else's stadium, they lost.
Well, I mean the teams that set out the first week. Like, didn't Georgia sit out the first week? And then came back and played Notre Dame. Then Oregon sit out the first week and came back and played Ohio State.
They lost.
Arizona. Then they sit out, came back and played Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of them lost. All the teams that had that week off lost.
Yeah.
Most of them anyway.
It was just one of those years, man. Like it would have been like everybody pretty much had Georgia beating Notre Dame. And Notre Dame just came in there and somehow won that game. Still surprised by that, to be honest. He said
quarterback.
All bye teams lost. I can't think of who that other bye team. I think it was Boise. Was Boise a bye?
Boise had a bye.
Yeah, so
all the conference
they got beat by Penn State.
Yeah, so all the the first 4 seeds lost. So
all the
conference that happen all the time. That's like a once in a lifetime. That's not going to happen again.
That week off. Look, that week off is just like in the regular season. That bye week can sometimes hurt you, man.
Yeah.
To be fair, in Georgia case, they had a quarterback get injured, right? So it's not like that was their full team. And like man, like you said, that bye week, having that week off
in the season
does something to you.
Facts. Just give me the home game. Facts.
Just give me the home game.
Mm-hmm.
Let me play in front of my people.
I think the seeding is what messed up too, because the fact that Arizona State had the bye, the fact that Boise State had the bye, seeding didn't help the situation.
Boise State with a damn bye. Really?
Yeah. So they gave all the conference champions by the top 4, but it's like I don't have a problem with a conference champion getting an automatic bid, but you shouldn't get a bye week if you're a conference champion because all conferences are not created equal.
Facts.
We learned that. That's what we seen in the playoffs. Every game that we knew, like Penn State handle SMU, Notre Dame handle Indiana. So all these games, only game that wasn't handled, like Texas could have really lost. So if you take that last play out where they would have been moving on to the semifinals to play Ohio State, but they would have got smacked. But
Texas should have lost. Texas should have lost. Man. Texas got
I flip it around on y'all. True, that's true what you say about Arizona, but Texas also could have beat Ohio State if Sark hadn't got too cute down in the red zone.
And the red
very true.
That pretty boy red zone killed Texas.
Pretty boy red zone. Facts. That's a perfect name for
like that.
Pretty boy red zone. I like that. Yeah, man. John, you agree with the format?
I agree with the straight seating 100%. And by the way, for the conference champions, what they're sweeping underneath the rug that they're trying to get people to avoid to look at is that their way of saying you should want to win your conferences. When you go to the playoffs, they compensate the conference champion with additional payout in their game.
Yeah.
So that's how they're trying to incentivize it. But the facts is the payout, in my opinion, is just not. Sometimes it's just not worth it. If you think the additional game you can play, it's going to far outseed that little ass $500,000, whatever it may be, $1 million payout, in my opinion. But yeah, no, straight seating should have been from the. I don't know how this was not set down in 30. We could have did this in 30 minutes. How are we going to see it? Straight seating, NFL format. Here we go. Not hard.
Done.
We know folks greedy now. We know.
Let me ask y'all this. Let me hear what Jason got to say on this one. Let me ask you this. Do you think, now we all know this is about money at the end of the day. They want that check. They want that money. They lost some money on that Penn State Boise State game was one of the least watched games. Do you think, Jason, that since the numbers weren't where they thought they was going to be, that will benefit having the SEC back in? Do you think that'll benefit us in the long run?
Of course it is. I mean, it's just like you said, at the end of the day, it's about money. So the straight seeding is only going to assist with putting better teams in the best position for these games to have more eyeballs on at the end of the day. Like putting the way it was seeded, it was almost like they tried to create an underdog story with that, because in America we love the underdog story.
Yeah.
It's what we go for. But like in college football, it can be so skewed so quickly with these programs. Like underdogs really just like it doesn't really work. You can't manufacture the underdog. It has to just naturally happen. So yeah, man, I think this is gonna be much better for it because honestly, it was crap.
Facts.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ted? Before we move on.
I mean, I've already kind of. I mean,
you're right.
It's just I just think that it should have been that way. I don't know how it got to like. To me, when I look at this whole thing, you setting up 12 teams. You start off with straight seeding, and then like, how do you get from that to like, oh, we just gonna give all the conference champions a bye, even if you win the Big 12, like you get a bye week.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it.
Well, let me hit on this.
You got all those Big 10 people on the committee, right?
Facts.
That is true. That's true.
Coaches, administration, they put stuff together, man, so the Big 10 have a chance to win the national title. That's what they were thinking about. I mean, giving more opportunity for some team in the Big 10 to win that trophy. And then you limit the seats for everybody else. Like SEC don't get that many, Pac-12 don't get that many, the Big 12 didn't get that many, other conferences didn't get that many, but everything is about the Big 10. It's all about the Big 10. They want to make the Big 10 the face of college football, which Ohio State became the face of college football this year. Penn State was in there with them, Oregon was in there with them, Indiana was in there with them. Like they dominated college football this year, and then at the end of everything, we're still talking bad about the Big 10 because the Big 10, when it stood a chance, we had to open up the door for more SEC team or even more I think even more ACC teams. Somebody from the ACT. I mean, excuse my damn tongue twisted talking today. But somebody from the ACC outside of Clemson, Miami would have got in there and done better. Indiana. Let's just be real. We got Cam Ward, a dynamic quarterback he was this year. He would have had a better show than Indiana.
True.
So it's just they put it in there where the Big Ten could win the national championship, and they did. So kudos to the Big Ten and the administration for sitting on that board and making things work their way. Period.
I watched this on. I'm sorry, my bad.
No. You
this
good.
On what is it? It's an Ohio State channel. I think it's called Talking Stuff. Yep. I watched this on that channel. It said that they want Ohio State to play more out of conference games because do you know that outside of the Texas Ohio State game and the national championship, the SEC championship was more watched than any of them outside of those two games. So they want Ohio State to play more Texases, more Bamas, more because they realize just playing Penn State and even Oregon, that part of the country just ain't really interested in college football, man. When you cross that West Coast line, it's just too much other stuff to do outside of college football. Miami sort of got that stigmatism now, right? When they was great, everybody watched, but now a lot of things to do in Miami when the college teams suck. A lot of things to do, right? So they was talking about how the SEC championship game was almost 5 million viewers more than most of these college football games, man, on the national Nielsen. So that's a problem for them. That's a problem for the people that want the money, the people that gauge the eyeballs.
Yeah, it's ESPN, it's Disney. When you look at it, like a lot of the stuff that we talk about in college football, when it comes to NIL and all of the things have to do with media market and media money, and that SEC championship makes a lot of money for ESPN.
A lot of money.
They couldn't wait to get their hands on that, and now that they do, that's why it's going to be more teams in the playoffs because all of them these games are going to be on ESPN.
Yeah.
When it's bowl games, it was different networks getting this, but now if we can put 7 games, 4 games in 1 week, 4 games the next week, and then 2 games after that, back-to-back weeks, man, we can make a lot of the money, and that's what it boiled down to.
I think in closing, because this is a good transition to this topic. Before we get to top 25 coaches since 2000, everybody tell me one sleeper team that you can see in the playoffs. It can be somebody that we don't see coming. It can be an Ole Miss, just somebody that wasn't in there last year that we can possibly see in there this year. And I think somebody that we can possibly see in there this year, we can definitely see Ole Miss. Because I'm really loving their quarterback, the weapons that they had, especially they took my boy, I forgot his name just that doggone quick. Who is it? Alabama wide receiver.
Sorry, I didn't hear your question.
Caleb Odom, thank you.
Oh, Caleb Odom. Gotcha.
I was talking about sleeper teams being there, but yeah, I was talking about Caleb Odom. But so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how can Lane get over that hump. I believe they should have been in there last year, but they lost crazy game to Kentucky. And I forgot that other loss because they had the wins, they just had them bad losses. But who are you guys sleeper team before we move over there?
For me, man, I got 2. I know Clemson's not really a sleeper because everybody picking them, I just think with their schedule, they're automatic. They're going to automatically be in. They're going to win 10 games, man. They don't play nobody in that conference. But sleeper, if I had to say, I say Cincinnati. If Boise State can do it, I think Cincinnati might be a chance. Cincinnati will have a real good team this year, man. On that, whatever they call it, Boise State non-power, well, whatever they call it, at large or whatever it is, I think they'll get the small school bid. Whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Anybody can tackle. Go ahead.
I think Pittsburgh gonna sneak in there and get that second bid out of the ACC.
Nice.
That'll be my sleeper, man.
Who you got, Tim?
Man, I got two of them. I'm gonna go in the SEC and out the SEC. So in the SEC, I think that the fourth best team. I think we get 4 teams in there this year, and that fourth best team. I'm gonna put Auburn Tigers up there, man.
Oh my God.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna put Auburn Tigers up there, man. I think a 9-3. I've been on record thinking that a 9-3 team will make the SEC team will make the playoff this year. I got us going 9-3.
Jason come out the hat with that one.
Well, I'm not gonna be y'all, Tez.
There's gonna be a couple of 9-3 teams, I think.
They're the underrated team. They the dark horses, man. Not like God.
Now they in the playoff.
Well, it's kind of like Coach Sean said when he asked, like, what's a team that you can see making a playoff that's not in there, and it's like, yeah, I think that in the SEC there's going to be 9-3 teams that make it.
Come on.
I even gave y'all 9-3, and I know y'all don't like that, but I think 9-3. I think 9-3 is a playoff team this year in the SEC. But the other team I got is Colorado. I think Colorado can win the Big 12.
You should have said. You could have easily said
they win the Big 12.
Better with Tennessee, man. Dang.
I think Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee make it again, though. But not Tennessee.
It's strictly based off the schedule. I don't think they'll end up playing a possible top 25 team all season. It's TCU. Their schedule is just outside of Colorado and North Carolina. They open with North Carolina. They get past North Carolina. I maybe don't see them losing the game. And I think that coaching staff's vastly overlooked. So, yeah, I'll go with – I know it's kind of – that's way off the radar, but I'd say TCU.
BT said he'll pit Nebraska before he pit Auburn.
Hey, Nebraska's not a bad.
Of course,
they not.
Raiola, he 5 games with game-ending interception. If he can keep their turnovers down in the last 3-4 minutes, Nebraska in the playoff this year, like easily.
I do not see Vanderbilt winning even 5 games. Let alone 10. They win. If that man wins 10 games, he is coach of the year easily. They better not get that trophy to nobody else if he can win 10 games.
Come on, Vandy.
Yeah.
And Diego better get a statue.
Yeah, he better get a statue. Lisa, what's going on? She got Texas Tech. Miss Janet said F Tennessee. I'm with you on that, and I think Coach Sean is Janet.
Facts, Janet.
South Carolina is interesting, so we're gonna definitely see on that. But of course, everybody, one of the main topics I couldn't wait to get to. Me and Tez talked about it.
Excuse me.
For about 2 hours, literally. I ain't gonna lie. We mentioned it, and then we were just talking about it. Was the top 25 coaches since 2000. It can be active, whatever. It can't be. They coached. Long as they coached in 2000 and up. But this was the list, the wrong list.
This is terrible.
This
is terrible.
Yeah, Cam Newton, where he coached. But the best college football coach since 2000 by the Athletic.
Disgusting.
But
it's awful.
Me and Tez talked about this just to talk about it for a second on my end because I'm really, really interested in how you guys think about it. But
yeah, me too.
We agreed. I believe the first 5, without a doubt, we agreed upon.
I don't at all.
See, this is where we agree. I think we can just go and cut out all the BS. Number 1, we already know who's number 1. So now above that, I am interested in see what you guys have to say. So I'm gonna start with you, John, and then Coach Sean, and then you go on. Just because I'm really, really interested. I really wanted to have this conversation.
Can you leave the list up? Because I'm going to need that as
okay. My fault.
Because part of my argument's going to be based on this list. So,
there we go.
So my question is criteria, because I look at this list and I'm like, okay, is it because you won a national championship? Not because you see Jimbo, who won one at 13. Brian Kelly's done nothing but losing big games at
Facts.
12.
My point. Facts.
Chris Peterson, great head coach. What the hell has he won?
Right.
At the next level. Mac Brown loved him. How many national championships does he have? You know what I mean? Like there's so much wrong with this list. I could sit here for an hour by myself discussing this to myself like a psychotic person.
Okay. My question to you then, see, you say all this stuff. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Okay, you said Brian Kelly. He's at 12. You think he's too high right there?
Right. What I would do is I would have to reorganize from the really midway down, going down here. Because once again, it depends on what your criteria is. My criteria is you got to consider national championships, right?
Yep, that's right.
So that number one, we can all assume Nick Saban's the GOAT. I don't care about anybody less than that. Whatever. Right. Urban Meyer, you know, are you considering moral compasses here? Are you considering the fact that
we just talking about coaching? We ain't talking about his side pieces or nothing.
I love it.
So
we just
you know what I mean? So, I'm having a heart attack. Now I need to leave and go to Ohio State and win one up there. Then all of a sudden I'm having health conditions again. And I need to leave and go on Fox Sports and then claim that I'm the reason they won everything they won. Anyways, beyond that, no, Urban Meyer is probably, in my opinion, not number 2. I would put him number 2.
Okay. This is what
I'll leave the moral side out of it. The moral side of it. So I'll leave Urban at 2. I'm moving personally Kirby Smart to 3.
Facts.
Okay.
I'm moving,
I like that.
Facts.
I'm moving Kirby to 3. I'll push. I don't know how I feel about Pete Carroll. Once again, this is a moral problem I have when he leaves, right? All these allegations came out, all this stuff, you know, one of the national championships taken away.
Yeah, just
strictly coaching, man.
I got you. So how many championships technically does Pete Carroll have? Because he had 1 stripped, right?
2 in 8 years.
So so he had 2.
I still count strip championship, man. They still championship, man. We can't unwatch the national championship.
Well, they tried to take a damn high.
That's why I said he got 2.
So so we're looking at 2 here. Him and Dabo, dude, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know. Big people call it big. Was it Big Game Bob? How many championships does he have? 1, right?
Bob Stoops.
Your name should not be Big Game with 1 national championship. I'm sorry, OU fans. That's just a fact. So I'm moving Big Game Bob down the list, in my opinion.
Okay, hold on. So see, this is because you moving too fast. Okay. So let's say you got Nick, you got Urban Meyer. So you say you'll put Kirby at 3. I have zero problem with that. I have zero problem with that.
And I'll put Pete Carroll at 4. And I'll put Kirby at 2. You'll put Kirby where?
2.
It's hard to put Kirby at 2, man. I'm sorry. It's hard to put Kirby at 2.
I think there was a potential Kirby will end up at 2 for sure.
Yes, but we talking about right now, today, nothing else. I don't care about the future. Where he at right now. Now, where I want, matter of fact, just answer this one simple question. You said Brian Kelly is he won a lot of games, but he haven't won anything. Is anybody behind him or anybody you put ahead of him?
Nobody likes Brian Kelly.
I don't like Jimbo Fisher. The fact is he won a national championship.
Yes.
I don't like Jimbo Fisher on this list at all. But I wait till my turn to get to that.
But I'm trying to keep this level headed and based on, like, I love what Cam Newton said on 4th and 1 the other day, right? So he's like, the only facts that we know that we talk about in sports entertainment is the final score in the stat sheet. Everything else is entertainment. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's entertainment, right? So I love that quote from him. But when you look at it, so I have to say, no, you can't be ahead of Jimbo Fisher if you haven't won any damn big games. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep, I agree with you. Ain't no argument here, but I was just talking about anybody else behind
Chris
him.
Peterson, why are you ahead of him? Why is Chris Peterson ahead of Ryan Day?
That's another. Ryan Day could be higher.
Why Ryan Day too? Why Ryan Day that high though? That's another question. He ain't win but 1 good game.
But that's all. Hey. He won more than Chris Peterson.
So the thing is like it's since 2000, there's 25 spots. We have 25 years, and some of these coaches have won multiple national championships. So it's going to be a bunch of coaches on here that hadn't won no national championships.
Why is Lincoln Riley on this list? Is there been anybody with more talent that's done
that, okay, now that's what I wanted. Who are you going to take off and who are you going to add? You saying why they on the list, but who are you going to add to the list?
No. I got you. I would obviously have to have time to break this down, right? So clearly, to think about this, like in Les Miles, I don't like Les Miles, but what did he win?
He got
a national championship. People forget
got
that.
a natty.
Why is he behind James Franklin?
That's exactly. Why is he behind James Franklin? Why is he behind Gary Patterson?
That's just preposterous. we ain't talking about that part, Tiz. I ain't even thinking about that. That's crazy.
Behind James Franklin?
Gary Patterson?
Yeah.
I love Gary Patterson. But
why is Reach so low on this? Even though
I have a question for y'all. I have a question for the panel.
But he shouldn't be that.
I have a question for the panel, and this is coming from my hate for Jimbo Fisher.
I can't stand it.
Tell me, what has Jimbo Fisher accomplished that Gene Chizik hasn't?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. That's easy peasy, lemon damn squeezy. I'll tell you.
Championship #1 overall pick.
Okay.
Heisman's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
don't say
Gene Chizik has a Heisman. And a national championship.
Hold on. I was gonna get to that. Jimbo Fisher is an offensive guy. Gene Chizik is a defensive guy. That was Gus Malzahn's Heisman, bro. You know what I'm saying? Dude just was the head coach, right?
I can give you that.
Jimbo Fisher, when he got to Florida State after my man left, Georgia guy. What's the former Georgia guy?
Mark Richt.
What's my man who Jimbo took over for him? The kid from no, didn't Jimbo take over for
he took over for
you talking about for Texas A&M?
No, who did Jimbo take over for? Who did Jimbo take over from at Florida State? Was that Bobby Bowden?
Yeah, it was Bobby Bowden.
Was that Bobby Bowden? Okay, Bobby Bowden.
Bobby Bowden, yeah.
Older cat, Bobby Bowden.
Yep.
Bobby Bowden at the end of his tenure has started losing. Florida State has started slipping really, really badly.
Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher had them in the national championship within a few years. They was always good under him, right? Here's the thing with Gene Chizik, man. Jimbo Fisher took over at Texas A&M, his second job, at the peak of NIL, at the you know what I'm saying, when NIL first put his toe in the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M wasn't just terrible like that every year. Gene Chizik was awful at North Carolina. Awful. Like,
I give you that.
It was terrible. You know what I'm saying? Jimbo Fisher, there's no way I could put him below Brian Kelly, right? Brian Kelly has took over two programs that was doing great before he got there. Before he got there, bro. Right? Jimbo Fisher took over Florida State when didn't nobody want to go to Florida State. Their funding was terrible. The administration had abandoned the alumni. They had abandoned the players. And all he did was go down here and pull Jameis Winston out of Alabama with a bunch of other players from around Florida. The Florida kids start going back to Florida again and win a national championship in 2014. Was it 13?
14.
14?
Well, 14. It was 14.
The year before we run. I know that. The year before we run.
Yeah,
we won. We beat Ohio State the next year. So, we lost to Ohio State.
Could be 13. I think it's 13.
Lost to Ohio State next year. I'm sorry. But in any case, Jimbo Fisher's track record at every station he's been, he's won. Every last one of them. This Texas A&M debacle was really, if you want to put it on him because he's the coach, cool, right? But you seeing today the after effects of what Jimbo had to deal with probably more than anybody because he was the first program around that wanted to just pay everybody. Fuck it, we gonna pay everybody. We ain't scared. We gonna let everybody know it, right? There's no way I could. When Gene Chizik left Auburn, he did absolutely nothing. Zero. He was the head coach of. Excuse me.
I'm saying I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying in terms of accomplishments, they've accomplished the same thing.
I don't know about the accomplishment. I just know Jimbo a better coach than Gene Chizik.
It could be, but we're also making arguments for other players coaches that should be hired based on them winning the national championship.
Yeah.
Gene Chizik has a national championship.
But go
ahead, John. My bad.
me is not better than Bill Snyder.
You said what?
I said Gene Chizik to me is not better than Bill Snyder.
Oh no,
Facts.
he's not better than anybody on this list.
Snyder is the most with nothing.
He's not better than anybody on this list. But we also have a coach on here that hasn't done anything any more than what he's done. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if Gene Chizik is the bar for mediocrity.
Gene Chizik won the national championship. They had a losing season next year.
Yeah,
Jimbo was 1 game away from being there. They was undefeated.
We was 8-5 before that. 5 games before that. So like we were on in 2008. We won 5 games.
It was all
about. I don't remember. Like he literally was undefeated the next year. Okay. He only lost to Oregon.
That's a fact.
He was 1 game away from the national championship.
Florida State was relevant.
Gene Chizik didn't lose to anybody.
That's cool. They didn't lose to anybody when they went to the national championship game. But the next year they was undefeated. Only game they lost was to Oregon.
I guess my point is Jimbo Fisher should be lower on this list. I'm not caping to put Gene Chizik on this list, but Jimbo Fisher shouldn't be. I just don't like the guy. Put it like that.
You got to take your personal feelings out of the way. I took my personal feelings out of the way for Brian Kelly.
It's hard.
I take the old
Gene Chizik was fired.
We are professional guys. We have to be professionals.
Gene Chizik was fired. Jimbo Fisher left on his own accord.
That's very true.
Yeah, you got Mac Brown better than Jimbo.
That's correct. Let me get into mine. Was you still going, John? My bad.
I actually got to hop off here. So, but I appreciate. I just want to say real quick, I appreciate the invite. Obviously, Brinsky, appreciate everybody on the panel. You know what I mean? Is fun as always. Appreciate everybody in the comments. Janet, from everybody getting in here. So, but yeah, I got to jump. I got to finish packing because I'm leaving in 3 days to Tuscaloosa. But no, I appreciate the invite. Obviously, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Do what?
Let me ask you one more thing before you get off. Any coach, just any coach off the top of your head, do you think that belongs on this list that's not on this list?
Off the top of my head, man.
If you can think of one. If not, I understand because I know you said you're going to make a list.
Yeah, actually, I can name one right now. I would put Sylvester Croom on here. The reason why I would put him on there is because what he did at Mississippi State with the lack of everything he had there, he put Mississippi State, in my opinion, on the trajectory going up before Dan Mullen and all those guys benefited from what he built. So, but that's just me personally. I'm not saying I'd put him above like 10 or nothing, obviously, but you get my point. I believe he deserves to be on the list. So, and that's just off the top of my head.
Oh,
I think about this, obviously, but yeah.
If you're going to have Kirk Ferentz on here, then you better have Jim Harbaugh. Man won a national championship, made Michigan relevant as hell, and
he's on
Ohio State's ass.
He's at 8.
Okay, I was going to say, I ain't see Jim. Okay, my bad. I was going to be like, bro, come on. Kirk Ferentz. Really?
Definitely appreciate you, John. Whenever you come back on, we're going to revisit this.
Definitely.
It may be tomorrow, it may be Tuesday, but we're going to revisit this. Trust me.
Appreciate you, John. Much love, bro.
Appreciate everybody on here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, John.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh, you're right about that, but I think Jim Harbaugh can be possibly. Do you think Jim Harbaugh is in the right spot? Or
I think he should be higher than Tressel. Because
I thought he should be higher.
I can't put him higher than Tressel.
The reason I say that is I don't remember when the last time Michigan beat Ohio State 3 years in a row. I just don't remember that. They base everything off those wins. But let me do mine really quickly. I'm gonna zip through it real fast.
Please.
Okay, go for it.
Before I do, you got to set a precedent. I think John's was national championships, right?
Yeah.
Mine really ain't national championships. Mine is just a better coach to me. Because again, if you go by national championships, like Ted said, you got to have Gene Chizik up here. I mean,
I know all I was saying.
Yeah, I mean, but that's real talk, right? But I know I go by just a better coach. Which one is the better coach, better program? What have you done? Better coach, man. And just like Coach Carr said, Bill Snyder should be in the top 10. Bill Snyder should be in the top 10. He done more with less than any coach on this list, including Coach Saban. Bill Snyder should be up there. This man had Kansas State ranked damn near every year and putting belt to people's asses, right? So the dude just know football, bro. But for me, you can't say national championship was the driving force behind this list because you have Mac Brown over. I mean, excuse me. Now you have James Franklin over Les Miles. Now, say what you want about Les Miles, but LSU was relevant every year he was there. They beat us a time or two. They won a national championship, right? What makes James Franklin better than Les Miles? Why? He made Vanderbilt relevant for one season.
I don't get
right? Is that your claim to fame? Well, the LSU guy won a national championship. Is that if that's some kind of gauge point? Why is James Franklin better than Les Miles? Why? What reason can you give me that James Franklin is above Les Miles? Why is Mark Richt above Kyle Whittingham? Why? Kyle Whittingham is a better coach. Kyle Whittingham is a better coach. If you give him the talent at the Georgias, he'd have Utah in the national championship game. That's a coach I never liked facing. Kyle Whittingham is a damn good coach. And if you're going on coaching skills, he could be in the top 10. Kyle Whittingham is one of the best coaches on this list. That's facts. Why is Brian Kelly above Jimbo Fisher? Why is Brian Kelly? Why? Because you took Notre Dame to the national championship and got your ass whipped? I mean, why? Why? You've done nothing at LSU. You've been right there every season. Give Jimbo Fisher a stable administration and the talent at LSU every year. A stable administration, meaning an AD that's not going to bend or break. You know what I mean? Give him that. I guarantee you Jimbo will do better than Brian Kelly. I can guarantee you that. Jimbo is a better coach than Brian Kelly. This is facts. Mm-hmm. Chris Peterson is a better coach to me, X's and O's, than Mac Brown. Mac Brown was an overseer. He was not a coach. He was an overseer. He had other people behind him to do his coaching bidding. He was no more X's and O's than nobody else. Why is he behind Mac Brown? You can't say because Mac Brown won a national championship. I just made that point with Les Miles and James Franklin. So last point, I got Nick Saban at 1. Urban Meyer has to be 2. Urban Meyer outside. I even go so far as say this: if you want to debate about number 1, Urban Meyer is the only person that can debate you about Nick Saban. Why? He's won national championships at 2 different schools that both were not winning till he got there. Right? Ohio State always was right there. Never got off the hump since the early days. Urban Meyer came in there and won a national championship. Urban Meyer came to Florida, won a national championship. Urban Meyer had Utah damn good, had Bowling Green damn good. Everywhere he's winning college football, he's won. Everywhere. Every single last place, just like Nick Saban did. You can't take that from him, bro. And beat Alabama, I might add. Urban Meyer's the only one you can even debate with Nick Saban. He's the only one because he's done the exact same thing, just not as many championships. Don't matter how much you don't like him. Don't matter about the headaches. The man has won everywhere he's coached. Everywhere.
That's true.
He's got that silver trophy everywhere. Took Utah to a bowl game at the time when they went in a bowl game in almost 11 years, right?
Undefeated.
So Pete Carroll, Kirby Smart. Here's my thing. Natties 2-2.
Bad.
Record. Kirby Smart in 8. Kirby Smart's been there at Georgia for 9, so only did the first 8. Kirby Smart's 85-15. Pete Carroll was 97-19. Right? Very comparable. Few more games played back then. Okay, cool. First round picks. Pete Carroll's got 14 in 8 years. Kirby Smart's got 17 in 8 years. Conference record. Pete Carroll was 62-14 in 8 years, 81%. Right? Kirby was 62-11. 84%, same amount of time in a tougher conference. And the conference championships. Kirby only got 3 in the SEC. Pete Carroll got 7 consecutive in the Pac-12. Now, mind you, this is the same Pac-12 to where USC would go 11-2, and the next best team would be 8-6, with Washington State being Washington or Washington State. Meaning there were times when there were only 2 teams out of that conference made bowl games. So in layman terms, to the people that's listening, USC had no comparable competition in that league, none, right? The only time they did, it was Texas or whenever they would make it to these national championship games, right? When you compare these stats between the two, man, Kirby's right there. Kirby did it in a much tougher conference. Kirby did it in a much tougher day to keep a kid on your roster, right?
Yeah.
We all understand USC was great those 8 years and play. Who was the best team USC beat that year outside of Texas? Notre Dame. And Notre Dame was they wasn't, you know what I mean? That's back when we had this BCS, right? A lot of teams get a lot of chances. I put Kirby Smart before I put Pete Carroll. That's me. Give me Kirby Smart at number 3 because Kirby has done it in a tougher era, in a tougher conference with like-minded competition. When Pete Carroll got the USC job, USC was still number one even before he got the job. Jim McKay had them up there anyway. When Kirby Smart walked into Georgia, they sucked. They sucked, and they had to deal with Alabama. Mm-hmm. Right? All he done was lose to Alabama, but take it to everybody else's ass and win 2 national championships in the process. In a much tougher conference, during a much tougher day to keep Reggie Bush on your roster. You know what I'm saying? So I got Kirby at number 3 over Pete Carroll, and I got Pete Carroll as my number 4. You know, that's just my so my Kyle Whittingham rant, my Chip Kelly rant. Oh, Chip Kelly should be higher on this list too. Chip Kelly at 24 sucks, man. He's a better coach than 9 out of 10 of the people in front of him. This is a whole fact. He's a better coach, man. He's a better coach. It's just a straight up truth.
So I got a question because I was thinking about this when we was talking about Chip Kelly. Are we counting what some of these coaches has done as coordinators?
No, just head coach.
Strictly head coach.
Are we just strictly on head coaching?
Yeah.
If that's the case,
we can't tell you what they did.
Right. Yeah, if that's the case, then Chip Kelly, I think should be a little higher, but not by much. I agree with the Dan Snyder
thing. He's a better coach. He's a better coach, man. He's a better coach than Les Miles, Mark Richt. He's a better coach than Mark D'Antonio. He's a better coach than Coach Kirk LaFrance. Bill Snyder is probably better than all them people in front of him as well.
They was getting ready to get rid of the program.
I think the only thing, like, all that stuff is a factor that makes all this one, like national championship winning. Of course, no, if y'all hear something, my daughter acting
Chip changed the game, man. He changed the game.
Coaching, so all that stuff factors in. It's not one particular thing. It's not national championships. I believe all national championships are not created equally. That's why I don't put a lot on Gus Malzahn. That's why he's not on the list. And plus, he didn't have no type of longevity.
He didn't win no national championship though.
Not Gus Malzahn. He never won. Gene Chizik. That's what I'm thinking of. My fault.
Yeah.
Gene Chizik on this list because he have no type of longevity. That's why I don't consider like national championship. It's a big thing to have, but you got to show some type of longevity. I don't even think he's been a head coach for even no more than 5 or 6 years.
And as soon as Gus left, what was his record? Jimbo Fisher switched offensive coordinators every 2 or 3 seasons and still had Florida State relevant. That means that was from the head coach.
I give you that. I just don't like Jimbo Fisher is all. And I'm just trying to find somebody mediocre to compare with.
Chip Kelly changed the game, bro. Chip Kelly.
I'm going to tell you a name that's not on here that I thought of.
Yeah.
I thought about this after me and B Sharp had that conversation. This is a name that's not on this list that I think should be on this list. And that's Gary Pinkel. Gary Pinkel at Missouri is the reason why they even came to the SEC. He had them 2 games twice, 1 game away from a national championship, from playing in the national championship. We wouldn't be talking about Missouri even competing if it wasn't for Gary Pinkel. I think he should definitely be on this list. And you could go with Gundy too. Gundy should probably be on this list. At Oklahoma State.
Gundy, I one that I was going to tell you. That's my
I believe Gundy can be on here. He'll be in the low 20s.
Yeah. I think both of those have a case to be low on this list, man. Just from what they did at the school and what they were able to accomplish with nothing.
This is why we're going to go back and review this with some of those guys.
Gun over Mark D'Antonio.
I mean, if you're going to put Kirk Ferentz up there, put me Jeff Brom up there. Jeff Brom has won every way he's been. He got Louisville relevant on the brink of the playoffs. Jeff Brom is a hell of a coach, man. If we just rating coaches without, you know what I'm saying? You got
that's what I say. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it, like national championships, your winning records. Of course, can you coach? You know, especially you being a coach, you know who can coach and who can't coach and who just pretty much an overseer for the most part. But I think just overall, of course, we know this list can be better. Now, I did have Pete Carroll over Kirby at first. And then what you just said, I was like, yeah, can't lie about that. And I would put, like, I wouldn't be mad at nobody if somebody put Pete over them, but I can understand it.
Yeah.
But I'm changing mine, and I definitely put Kirby at 3 because what he's done at Georgia, especially Georgia not having won a national championship in over 40 years, and then you just come in there and they just a straight powerhouse.
And that's back when every kid on the West Coast, that means Washington, Portland, California, all went to USC, right?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and USC is a blue blood. Georgia is not. So, but what you were saying, Coach Carl, my fault.
I said that's why I put Kirby at 2, man, because what Kirby did for Georgia is unprecedented, man. Like, you take a losing school and make them relevant in every single year for the last 7-8 years. Georgia been in the top 2, top 3 in the country, man. Damn near won 3 national titles in a row. We're contending for 5. You just think about that, man. Like, Nick Saban beat him once. If we went from, 2nd and 26, that's 1 title. Then we knocked them out. We knocked them out when they was favored to win the SEC championship. They didn't get a chance to go play. Think about that. When Bama won that one in 2020, that could have been 2. Then he already won 2. Then we beat him again when he was going for his 3rd. So that's already like 5. That's just off the top of my head that I'm thinking about. 5 chances.
The only rebuttal I have.
Ohio State beat him 1 time. So that's 6, man. Just think about in the 8-9 years that he's been there, he had 6 opportunities to win national championship.
Yeah. The only rebuttal I have against that, you saying that he turned a losing team into a winner.
Yeah, they weren't like Georgia.
They ain't like they were just losing now. They were still winning games. They
won like 9 games the year before he got
there. I ain't gonna give you that one. Now, Mark Richt had him winning games.
They were like a 10-win team when he took over.
But Kirby had him winning the games.
Mark Mark Richt couldn't win the big games.
That's what I was saying. He just wasn't winning the games.
He couldn't.
The cupboard wasn't bare when Kirby took over, though.
No, it wasn't bad, but it got a whole lot brighter when he got there.
Now,
you're right.
A whole lot brighter.
It's just like
you got to think about it, Prince. It's no conversation, man, in the last 8 years that you had without Georgia in it.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's no way. It is no way I can put nobody over Urban Meyer. Just
man. I was
saying Urban Meyer put up. Just look at the squads that I can promise you right now. If I think one of the greatest games like ever, like just of talent on the field, was that 2009 SEC championship game. Whoever won that game was going to win the national championship game. And we just so happened to win that win that game. But Florida didn't have no scrubs on that team, man. Like, they had Tebow, they had Percy Harvey, they had Chris Rainey, they had Jeff Demps, had Ahmad Black, had Janoris Jenkins, had Joe Hayden, had Brandon Spikes, had Brandon Graham, had Carlos Dunlap. Like, star after star. These guys playing on Sundays.
Yeah, but
I can guarantee you, if that squad played any of those Georgia teams, I don't believe Georgia would beat that squad.
Urban Meyer.
I say take the national championships out of it.
Yeah, if you do that, it's a much more interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie Strong in Florida sucked. Ron Zook was 23-15. Right?
Yeah, he was awful.
Urban came in that thing and they went 122-27.
Urban
and 2 national championships. That's after he just left Utah and made them relevant.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's after he just left Bowling Green and made them relevant as a small school, right? This dude has won everywhere. He's the only coach that you can compare to Nick Saban if you want to have that argument. He's won it everywhere he went.
He's the only coach, and if it's another one, it's tell me. But he's the only coach that I can remember that came from the West Coast and dominated in the SEC. And we talk about that all the time, like how coaches come from the West Coast, they're going to have trouble adjusting into the SEC. He came from the West Coast and first year 9-3 bowl game.
Yeah.
Like he didn't stop winning until he quit.
2 natties, man.
Yeah.
When last time outside of Steve Spurrier that Florida, can you see Florida winning 2 natties within 3 years? now
They technically ain't even been that relevant. I feel like if they just the East just
that's another name. Does Spurrier make this list for what he did at South Carolina?
they said since 2000. Well,
with South Carolina. That's
yeah.
what they said. What he did.
I don't even think South Carolina Spur.
They went to a couple of SEC championships.
Yeah, I think his shadow at Florida is so big. Yeah, it make you look over what he did at South Carolina, even though it was some good stuff.
It's almost
he's just
like
a name that I wasn't thinking about, and you mentioned him like, oh,
this is why I said we're going to revisit. That's why I wanted everybody to just speak on it now. So it's just so hard, man. I'm sorry, bro. I just cannot move Urban Meyer at 2. And we were just speaking about Florida. Now, when he got to Ohio State, it was just a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
It's a well-oiled machine, like, bro, just the talent that went through that school for real. The only thing that was stopping him, they just lost some stupid games there.
Yeah.
I don't. There's a lot of games they just lost. They were just playing. I can't even explain. I don't know how you lose Purdue by like 30-some points on the road.
In Ohio State, he took over Jim Tressel, man. So that program was already humming.
Well, his first year, they got it on it. His first year, they were preseason AP 18. They finished number 3.
Facts.
But I get
his last year at Utah, they were preseason 20. They finished 4 in the country.
Facts. That Urban to me is the only coach out there that you can compare to Coach Saban.
Yeah, I guess because they coach places. I'm sorry, you got to be 2.
I just can't compare him to Nick Saban though. Me either.
No, he hasn't won the big game enough.
I get what he's saying. Where he's the only one that you can compare anybody. Yeah. He's the only one that's closest to him.
Yeah,
he's the only one in the conversation at all.
Yeah, facts. That's
I don't know how Kirby would do if Kirby left Georgia.
Facts.
A lot of these guys just have one stop on.
A lot of these coaches like Kirby, man. I don't know. Like you say, you don't know about Georgia, but shit, Kirby is Kirby. Kirby is Nick Saban. I think that Kirby gonna be good wherever he goes. If you take Kirby to Clemson and replace Clemson with Dabo and put Dabo in Georgia, I think all the talent goes to Clemson. Everybody gonna follow Kirby with Kirby and coach. So and then the staff Kirby built around him that came from Alabama, the kids trust. So they trusted him like they trusted Nick Saban back in the day. So I don't know, man. I think Kirby gonna be successful no matter where he goes. Period. Until he start showing that he can adjust. I just don't see Kirby not being successful.
But them national championships is hard to predict. We just can't just say
they're hard to win.
Go this place and he'll just win. Now I know he'll have a success, but will he win there? That's
and
just
different. And do it at Utah and Bowling Green.
Now Utah was Urban Meyer did things in the era with Utah that a lot of teams wasn't paying attention to. Utah showed up and beat Bama when Bama was sucker from Florida. Like they took advantage of teams that wasn't prepared for the type of defense and the type of offense that they brought. If they was playing against teams on a regular with Urban Meyer in the SEC with Utah, I don't think Urban Meyer and Utah would have been successful at all. It just they was in the Pac-12 and they caught teams sleeping, man. That's about it, really. He's just a good coach, and they caught a lot of teams sleeping because they weren't prepared for what he was bringing.
Yeah. Well, when you play in a conference like that, the competition is going to be inferior, but the talent that you got to work with on your team is going to be inferior too. So it kind of even out. So that's why, like when he moved to Florida, of course he playing in a tougher conference, but he got more talent on his team too.
Hey, you see what happened? He won 2 natties behind it.
All it was with Florida, man. Like shit, that was Coach Sean right now. If Coach Sean was to leave his job and go back to A&M and being a running back coach or assisting them offensive coordinator or something, he can bring a whole lot of kids that from Madison, from Huntsville, from Birmingham area back to HBCU because they are like the favorite Coach Sean because they're watching them on YouTube. They seen them on
connection.
I got that.
And I know one thing else. We ain't got to worry about paying for tickets.
It's on. The homies get in free.
I use my sources now. I'm not. If I know you work there, best believe I'm going to ask for tickets.
The homies getting in free. Yes, sir.
Right. Listen, since you hopped up in here, anybody on this list?
Yeah, but when you're talking about Florida kids, man, Florida kids don't want to leave Florida, really. So you giving them a coach. You give them a coach that won in Utah, the coach that beat Alabama, and then you give them to Florida, of course they're gonna stay at home because everybody in Florida, a lot of times they want to beat Alabama. Like Alabama was standard college football until the day we still one of the top standards in football now. Everybody want to beat Bama. So when you get any decent coach down there, the kids gonna flood to Florida. Like right now, kids going back to Florida because of Napier. Napier winning. So now the kids start back to go to Florida. If they keep Napier down there and Napier keep winning, shit, Florida gonna be in the top 5 before you know it. Give them a couple of years with a decent recruiting class. Those kids don't want to leave. They went to Miami. They went to Florida State. They'll go back to Florida. Trust me.
Well, Jason, since you jumped in, let me get Jason in here in front. We're gonna come right back to that because that's a real good question. Said did Myers have better talent at Ohio State or Florida State? Y'all be prepared for that one. But Jason, anybody on this list, you think the list is
trash?
Okay, you think it's trash. Anybody you would move up, move down? What's your reason why? All that good stuff. Before we hit from last question, then we can get up out of here.
I mean, honestly, there's the name on this list that bothers me the most is James Franklin.
Yes,
I mean,
I can see that.
No, speak on it, Jason.
I think we all agree on that one.
It's almost like he is a plant. Like,
fact.
It's like, how do you ain't won nothing?
Nothing.
It don't. It always look like you gonna win something. You know, you just. It's just he never wins when he's supposed to win, but it always looks good. It's always close, and so we always give him the benefit of the doubt. But it's just like I like every coach on here more than him. Like anytime I see his name on any of these lists, it just makes me get nauseous, man. Like I don't know. He sucks.
Hold on, Jason. What has James Franklin done that Lane Kiffin hadn't done?
That's what I'm saying. And honestly, that was my question.
That's a good one
to the panel.
Hey,
like,
that's a good one.
That's a real good one.
That's what I was going to ask. What has James Franklin done that Lane hasn't done?
Well, he hasn't made it to the college football playoff. So at least give him that.
Take a look.
Oh, well, what about Lanning?
James Franklin,
I mean, I would take Lanning, Sark, or Kiffin over James Franklin right now.
Facts.
Yep.
James Franklin. So he hasn't had a losing season except for the pandemic.
His claim is Vanderbilt. Look what he did at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, 9-4, 9-4, 6-7. It really, I mean, it's Vanderbilt, so it looks good, but
James Franklin is a V6 Camaro.
Penn State gave me 7 games. Yeah, he's
a V6 Camaro.
Yeah,
base model Dodge Charger, man.
Bro, I just can't put James Franklin over a national champion coach.
He's never missed a bowl game. I give him that.
Just saying this, like
entire coaching career.
Put James Franklin in Ole Miss and Kiffin in Penn State.
Oh my God!
Oh, look, Coach Carl, you gotta fight Alabama. You ain't gotta fight Georgia.
Exactly.
You the state college in the whole state. You good.
All you gotta do is put up enough point to beat Ohio State, and I guarantee.
And you're automatically gonna be in the running for the top quarterback in the nation every year.
Every year. And I think he'll have
that's because you're Penn State.
Better quarterbacks at Penn State than what they've been having.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Penn State probably win the championship this year. If they
what is his most? I'm trying to find his most successful season.
Who?
Probably probably this year.
Probably this year because he want to give him his credit. He was one game away. He is Drew Adler away from winning to at least playing in the national championship.
Okay, but if that was Lane Kiffin would have had Jackson Dart,
who should have been in there over SMU.
They would have been playing for the national championship.
True.
They would have been playing.
True.
You know what I'm saying? He's a good motivator. It's a lot of coaches that are good motivators.
Stop it.
Well, you can motivate over the phone.
His best season.
You ain't got to be on the sideline.
His best season is when he coached Hot Hands Haney
like that.
and Icebox, and they beat Kevin O'Shea.
This last question since this was a real good one. He said, did Meyer have better talent at Ohio State or Florida? I think it's easy.
Kevin O'Shea.
That's easy, bro.
And I think it's Ohio State. not only was he pulling those guys out of Florida, he's getting those guys out of Texas.
Yeah.
He's pulling those guys out of Ohio. He wasn't bringing Ohio guys to Florida. He had Florida guys, but he was pulling Florida guys out of Florida to come to Ohio State. And
I got to disagree with you, B-Shaw. I got to disagree with you.
Go ahead. I want to hear this.
He had a better one team at Ohio State that year. They had Zeke. But you look at his tenure at Florida, when you look at all the players he had, man, bro, he had Percy Harvin.
Yep.
And they both went first round the same damn year, and they was on opposite sides of the ball. Percy Hart, what's the corner that year, man?
Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden or Vernon Hargraves. I can't remember which one it was.
Vernon Hargraves, Joe Hayden, Black.
Man, even all five, they had 3 juniors and 2 seniors. The whole offensive line went in the top 60 picks, man.
Pouncey, yeah.
Like what the I have to go. I have to
look this up. Because
Jordan Reed.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that Ryan Day had Garrett Wilson and all those boys. So now I'm thinking I may have to reverse back to that because I'm thinking he had Garrett Wilson.
His receivers at Ohio State was Ted Ginn and somebody else. At Florida, bro.
Refresh my memory.
What Michael
Thomas, Ted Ginn.
What happened in 2012?
Yeah, this
were they on probation?
Kind of crazy,
bro. Florida, they had
they had Joe Hayden, they had Janoris Jenkins. Oh my god, the Pouncys.
Yep.
Yeah,
the linebacker Brandon Spikes.
Oh my god, Percy, Jordan Reed.
They had Braxton Miller. They had Terry McLaurin. They had Curtis Samuels.
It's nice.
Michael Thomas, Joey Bosa.
He had some talent on both sides.
Marshawn Lattimore, Malik Hooker.
Yeah.
But you know what? Just off this is just like really, really just one big squad.
One team. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take that back because I thought I had to think about it. I said, damn, they ain't have Garrett Wilson and all that boys. So yeah, I'm going back to Florida because I'm telling you right now, just the talent on the field. That 2009 SEC championship game, only team that I can think about that was more talented than that was 2019 LSU and Alabama. And I think that had more talent on that field than that game because you have Janoris Jenkins and Joe Hayden at that time, 2 lockdown corners. Man, please.
They were the number 1 team coming into that season, 2009.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said whoever won that game, and this is why I have so much hate towards Brian Kelly because Brian Kelly, coward ass, want to leave Cincinnati and go to Notre Dame and don't want to see Florida in that Sugar Bowl where they got their ass whooped in that Sugar Bowl.
In 2009, he still got that ass whooped by Alabama.
So in 2012, when Urban Meyer took over at Ohio State, they was on probation.
He was just a year before though.
Facts.
But did they have a bowl ban or something?
I'm just being real. You can't discount it. You got to get on probation. Man. You got to get a man his credit.
You said Brian Kelly.
No. Brian Kelly. We didn't beat Brian Kelly in 2009.
Yeah, we did. We beat. We won. Who beat?
We didn't play Cincinnati.
Yeah, we played Notre Dame in that championship.
We played Notre Dame in 2012.
2012.
Hey man, I know it's been that long, man. It ain't been that long.
A long time. But I know we still beating Brian Kelly.
Yeah, man. I was in college, man. Trust me, I'll never forget that because
he dodged Florida ass whooping and still got a Bama ass whooping.
That was 2 years down the line. Yeah, man. That was like he didn't even coach that game. That's what made me lose respect. I never like coaches that do that. If you're gonna take the job, cool, but still coach that game. Those are your players. You made a commitment to them, and you expected them to be there for you.
I think it was Notre Dame telling him that he had to be on campus because Notre Dame don't hire coaches and let them finish their contracts with bowl games. They different. That's touchdown Jesus, what they call it.
Man, well, not in my lifetime, and I think Lou Holtz is overrated. I said it. I stand on it. I think Lou Holtz is very, very overrated.
Yeah, 2009 is when they beat the Rails off of Cincinnati.
That's what I'm saying.
In the
That he
Sugar
didn't
Bowl.
want to face them boys, and them boys got destroyed.
They had just got beat by Bama, so everybody knew Florida was gonna kill the next team.
Oh yeah, but I'm just talking about how the way Brian Kelly left. I just didn't like that.
Shit, I wouldn't have played Florida either. Tebow's on the sideline crying like that.
And that's why he didn't win none at Notre Dame. Shout out to Touchdown Jesus, because Jesus don't like that.
So in 17 years, Urban Meyer has missed a bowl game twice, and both of those is at Bowling Green.
Exactly.
Let that.
The only time he missed a bowl game other than that was 2012 Ohio State, but they went undefeated, so they had to have a bowl ban, or they was on probation, I guess, when he took over.
Mm-hmm.
They had Carlos Dunlap and Chris Reed.
It's a pretty decent career, bro.
And Jeff Demps.
Good Lord.
Bro. And before we close out of here, because I remember when we played him in the 2008 SEC championship game in the Montgomery Advertiser, they had the 40 speeds of a lot of guys on the Florida squad. They had Chris Rainey, Percy Harvey, and all them boys. And they just like, how can Alabama keep up with him?
Lewis Murphy ran a 4.36 at 6'3", 200 pounds.
I'll never forget that article. Me and my boy, shout out to Bob, he's a Florida fan. We was arguing throughout that our senior year of high school. I swore up and down we was gonna beat them boys that year. But we beat them.
Who did they lose to?
Who?
To Florida.
Nobody.
Ole Miss.
Okay, they lost. I was about to say they lost the game.
That TMT crying game when he promised that he would never play that bad again.
And the rest is history. I ain't never seen nobody play like that ever. You make a promise like that and proceed to just go annihilate everybody.
I think that one team Urban Meyer had at Ohio State was comparable, but when you look at his tenure at Ohio State versus his tenure at Florida, I think he had more talent at Florida.
And there you have it, folks.
In Florida, he had to recruit outside of the state.
Facts, man. He didn't have to go nowhere, man.
But everybody.
They got a damn documentary about
why
that.
It's such a good job. That's why it's such a good job to take. You can get down there.
They had them killers on that team. I mean, literally killers.
You mean literal?
Literally.
Killers.
Yeah.
Let's see who got the highest winning percentage.
Somebody say, I heard a lot of people say, I'll kill you.
But they
not enough that really do it.
Really do it, man. Facts.
So, man.
Y'all seen that 30 for 30 about that Florida team?
Yeah, I think they did a good job on it, man. They should have went deep on that. They should have went way deep on that.
Crazy, bro. Yeah.
You can't do it, man. You can't do that deep.
Yeah, you can. But
just for reference, out of 28 years, Nick Saban only missed a bowl game 3 times. 2 at Michigan State and once at Toledo. I don't even think was he a head coach at Toledo?
For 1 year. For 1 year.
The head coach? Yeah. So they missed the bowl game. They won 9 games that year, but
before he went to the Cleveland Browns.
Some reason they didn't go to a bowl game.
It's Toledo.
Yeah.
And it was his first year.
Well, they won 9 games.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you. Probably probation. I don't know.
It's some. It gotta be some.
But everybody, appreciate you for coming on in. We're gonna revisit this list, and we're gonna have new names on the list. So we're gonna see everybody seen the list. Everybody had their rebuttals and all that. And also the next time, because I know Coach Sean went on here. I think everybody, Tez was on here, were you? When we was talking about the quarterbacks of the 2000s, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs. That's the homework for everybody. So just have a top 10 list of everybody, your top 10. They had to play in the 2000s and up, not 99 going into 2000, 2000 and up. Freshman year is literally 2000. Your best players. We doing quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs, just knocking them all out. Because I feel like quarterbacks is easy.
SEC or the country?
Country.
Quarterback, running back, and wide receiver?
Because we did the top 25 players. Matter of fact, the next time y'all on here, we'll talk about that too. I should have tackled that too. Because we had that list. But wide receivers. running back. Go ahead.
I'm about to say real quick, we're talking about talent versus that Urban Meyer had at Florida versus Ohio State. He's had 13 All-Americans total. 6 of them was at Florida. The rest of them was at Ohio State. 7, so that'd be 7. So it's about even, actually, if you look at it from that standpoint. All-Americans. And to be fair, Brandon Spike's on that list twice.
And also remember, Ted Ginn and all them boys was Jim Tressel's recruits, not Urban Meyer.
He didn't have those guys. He didn't coach them till later. He never coached them.
And just in comparison, Nick Saban's had 45 All-Americans.
I know. But
so now you can't slide him to no more. No, Nick.
But everybody, we're just gonna let everybody shout out their channel, and we're gonna get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
What's happening? Tez, you can find me at Boom. It's SEC season.
Right there. Can we?
Yeah, you can find me there. Got some content coming soon, hopefully. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for, of course, Brinsky for having me, man. And it's always a pleasure to talk ball with these guys. 2 coaches in there that know more about football than I can even imagine. And then we got Jason. But yeah. Yeah, man. It's just been a pleasure, man. Yeah, you can find me at it's SEC season on Twitter, on YouTube, and my personal Twitter is codename Tez. You find me on there, usually lying about something.
But appreciate it, Big Bama. But only reason I'm doing 2000 because the Athletic said the top 25 players of the 2000s. That's the only reason why I said let's just make it interesting from 2000 and up. Well, 2000 to now. So it can be whatever you want it to be.
All right. I appreciate you, Brinsky, for inviting me, man. Sorry I got here late. Got up too early this morning, went to church, man. I was feeling kind of down, so still having a stomach ache. Still kind of feeling funny right now, but y'all excuse my tongue twisting mouth this morning because my stomach still hurt. Good to see you, Coach Sean. Glad to see you still here, man. That's
likewise, brother.
That way, man.
Yeah,
glad
man.
Tez, Jason, man, been a long time, bro. That time me you talked, you were making masks, and I didn't have a 3D printer, so I went out and got me one.
Man, that is a minute. Damn.
Hey, appreciate it, Miss Janet, man. You can find me on the Block Sport Talk with Coach Carl, man, on YouTube, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Coach E. Taylor. Those are my pages. Follow me. Or I mean, my name is Carl Taylor. You can find me on Facebook too at Carl Taylor, man. You'll see me with a long beard back then. I had to shave it now, but I appreciate y'all, man, for inviting me. I love to be on the panel with the brothers. It's good to see Dwight in the comments, man. Y'all get at Dwight, man, because Dwight hooked up my background. Dwight is, man, you won't deal with that if you need some content, bro. Like, get at Dwight. You want to get some edit going on, you got some video, you need edit, you need to holler at Brinsky and Tez, man, with those boys doing the big things. They going somewhere in life with that stuff, man. Fact. I'm just an old football coach, man. And Tez, start telling people all these lies, man. Like you say, you be somewhere telling lies.
You telling lies on me. I ain't the editing guy. Go to Tez.
You can't say I know more football than you forgot. Come on now. We all learning. We still learning, man. So we all know football because we learn from each other. And we learn more things from other people, man, like behind the scenes stuff. Brinsky with the commentating. Jason down there doing a host of every single thing that he can think of.
Facts.
Man, and I appreciate y'all, man. To everything, man, for real. I appreciate y'all.
Always. Sir.
Hold on, wait a minute, bro.
You about to get fired, bro.
I just read your Angel Reese layup instructor.
You're gonna be unemployed.
Hey, man, I'm not letting you talk, man. You say something. Man.
We got work to do. We got work.
Man, goodbye, man. I'm not dealing with you.
Hey, man, y'all can follow me on Instagram at Jason Bernard Official and on Twitter. Put me back on that screen, Brinsky. Sharp. You can follow me on Twitter at Crowd Noise JWall. I got shoes coming out in the summer sometime. I think August, something like that. Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Brinsky, Tez, Coach Carl, Coach Sean. Hey, Miss Janet. And all y'all just for letting me come up here and just,
Hold on, Jason. You got some shoes coming out?
I always got shoes coming out.
I always got
man,
shoes.
you got to put me on that, man. I'm gonna support that for sure.
I send you a pair, my brother.
Yeah, I got you covered, bro. Yes, sir.
Janet said about the snow cone, man. She was showing you love.
Miss Janet, I got traded.
Let me see. Let me see my address, Jason, so I can rock them at school for you.
Facts, bro.
I got traded, Miss Janet. They wanted me to teach Angel Reese how to not shoot layups.
How long you been doing that? Because
about a season now.
Facts. Man.
You're fired. You're fired.
Man, appreciate you, man.
Oh my God. He said not make layups, so he winning. He winning real good.
Fact.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Who employed you, Indiana?
You go ahead and go my fault.
Oh no, it's all good, brother. Thank you though, man, to Brinsky, man. Good to see Tez and Coach Carl and my brother Jason, all the fellas up here, man. That's some reason I was rushing home. Give it to fellas, man. Much love to these guys, and thank you for even having me. Much love to Ty and Jan 716 and Coach Al and Piano Man and Justin from TDA and Clint Lamb and KB and Kyle and just the entire Bama Standard, man. John included. You know what I'm saying? The entire Bama Standard for having us, man.
Shout out to
man. We appreciate everybody in the chat too, man. Everybody in the chat, man. Good to see Janet down there, man. And Dwight and OG Ephraim and Big Bama Brand. Everybody just doing their thing, man. And we really appreciate y'all, man, more than you could ever possibly know. Much love to Brinsky for having us, man. You can definitely find me at JMHO Sports Talk on Twitter and YouTube, man. Much love. And y'all got to get up here. Like when the season starts, y'all got to get up here, man. You know what I'm saying? They got the season ticket thing sold out. So every game gonna be stupid. You know what I mean? You know, you come with me, you ain't gotta have no ticket. I got you covered. You know what I'm saying?
Say less.
Yeah, get you right there. Coach Carl, I've been up here with him on, we gets it in, man. We go in there as a group, we all meet outside the gate, forming teammates and family, and we just go up in that joint, man. Coach Carl came through, really enjoyed seeing him. Teammates got a chance to meet him, man. So yeah, season started, man. Y'all gotta make that trip up here to the Ville, man. We're gonna be, we're gonna be doing it big, man.
Do it.
Yeah, I played Jackson State this year.
I think so. I don't know. I don't know where the game is at. I seen the schedule briefly. I can't remember what date I had to pull it up.
So I had to tell Coach Al to come out there too.
Yep. Everybody, man.
Hill, I ain't gonna say no lie. The Hill different.
Yeah.
I know. I think I party out there with Coach Sean, man. I got.
Oh yeah. We be in the thick of it.
Never had a bad time in Huntsville.
Oh,
Every time I've been to Huntsville, I've had
that's a fact. I ain't never had a bad time in Huntsville.
They do it big, man.
It's just like it's almost like a brand new campus, man. I mean, everything looks perfect up there, man.
Yeah, it's wide open. You know how it is, Coach Carl. All the food and adult beverages your little body can handle.
Yes, sir.
And for all the single men, the ladies. The ladies.
Yeah, you single.
Nice looking women out there.
You're in the right place, bro.
This ain't San Antonio with them big old women there, like Charles Barkley said. You don't get the big old women up there.
Like I
nice looking women.
Oh my God, bro.
Appreciate everybody coming through. Finally got everything changed on the channel. It's finally officially the Sharpshooter Sports Talk, because we talk about everything and anything and everything. And one of the things that we definitely gonna hit on, because a lot of us HBCU alums, we definitely gonna be tackling a lot more, especially because a lot of people hit me up about that when we was talking about homecoming and all that other stuff. People were really enjoying that conversation about that stuff. So definitely we're gonna tackle that a lot more, especially during the football season. And who has the best homecoming? And I can tell you, Howard is not one. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I've been. Little snooty
That's one of the
pooty.
biggest lies I ever heard.
Snooty pooty.
Yeah,
Ain't like
yeah,
ours, man.
Yeah, man. It is. I just hate when I see lists of them being number one of anything.
Hampton and all that. Like,
Yeah,
it
like,
was
stop it.
nice and controlled. I was like, man.
That's why it's so much fun. That's why they rank it high, because it's controlled homecoming.
Yeah, man.
You got to wake up real early in the morning to beat that one down there. County. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man.
I'm just saying.
But we'll catch y'all on the next one. And y'all already know I almost went out of here without saying it. Sorry, Miss Janet. But y'all already know F them trees for life.
Sorry, Tez.
Except Tez.
Hey, don't apologize to me. I ain't kill him.
F Tez too. And was corner.
Oh my God.
Over there, but y'all already know. And definitely got to shout out Michael Vick at the HBCU. Definitely gonna keep tabs on that for real. Facts. I do like that jersey that they put out there. Don't be surprised if I get one.
Facts.
That thing is nice. Yeah. But definitely catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all. Roll Tide. Hey Tuskegee. Shout out to all the HBCU, A&M, Jackson State, Alabama State. So we'll end it like that.
Yeah.